Hello, Tamara here. Nice of you to join me. And a very warm welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here with me today. And we are on part 3 now of the Exploding Box and Folio album project that we've been doing on my channel. Well, that's a bit of a mouthful. So we are going to be looking at and making up the pages in this tutorial. We're going to do the pages and we'll do the front and back covers as well. Now I'm going to be using the Mintay Papers Merry Little Christmas. Now these ones I bought from 14 Craft Bar when I did a craft retreat over in Ireland, probably about 3 months ago or so now, with the lovely Aggie, and I fell in love with these papers and I bought them there. Beautiful, beautiful papers. I love them. A little bit of housekeeping. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell as well. Give me a like and a comment. Love to read your comments. It really does make my day. So please don't forget to do that. It really does help my channel grow. The more subscribers I get, the more chance I have of YouTube showing my video to more people. So if you are a subscriber, thank you ever so much. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So let's get on with the page. So I'm only going to be making one page with you online on the video, because I've actually made up my 3 of my pages already. Now the reason I say that is because each page is exactly the same as the last. So I thought I would save a little bit of time and make them up beforehand. So this is my page, 3 pages that I've made in here. So as you can see, exactly the same, just different papers. Just shows you a different look. So this is more clean and white, where this is more like vintage, and your creams and your muted greens and things. So it gives you a different look altogether. So I haven't done the backs. Those I will do off camera, because all the backs are a sheet of pattern paper, and I've used the Cool Cats photo slot dies just in the back. If you haven't got the photo slot dies, you can just put a 3x2 photograph template in there, so you don't have to use those. So as I say, I've left the pieces blank at the back. Apart from this one, I've filled that one in there, and I've also done the inside back page, inside back cover as well. So I've put my little magnet on, again some of those nice Cool Cats photo slot dies, and we open it out, and I've put a pocket there. The reason I've put a pocket there is I had this scrap paper, I wanted to use it, so I thought what better than to put a pocket in. Again, some more of the Cool Cat slot dies, and then another pocket with one of their tags in that pocket as well as in there, so they all match. So we're going to do them all the same. So coming on to this, so when I'll show you how to put them in as well. Now I've worked from back to front. I just prefer to work that way, and then we can line up all our pages with the back page. It just makes it a lot easier. So let's get our measurements and our paper. So for this, you're going to need about 8 sheets of cardstock. These take 2 different measurements. So you've got a part A and a part B. So these are called the file folder pages. So for part A, you'll need to cut 4 of these at 6 1/8 by 10 1/8. Now I'm only going to cut the one, because obviously I've done mine already. So 10 1/8 all the way down here by 6 1/8. Okay, and that's your part A. If you want to write in pencil, you can do part A, that then you will know. So part B, also you need 4, and this is going to measure 5 7/8 by 6 5/8. So 6 5/8 is there, by 5 7/8, which is there. Okay, so that's our 2 parts there. So now we need to score them. So we're going to score part A first, and you need to score it on the shortest edge of your card, and you need to score it at both ends, and you need to score it at 2 inches. Okay, so 2 inches that side and 2 inches the other side, like so. And we can fold them over, and then the second piece, so your part B, we need to score on the 6 5/8 of a inch side, and you need to score that at 1/2 inch. Okay, that's going to become our flap, or our false front. Now on these I used another of the Cool Cat dies, which were the I used the Wavy Line Whisker die set, and this one has got about 3 different sizes in them, and you will need the longest size for when we do the front and back cover, but for this one we only need the one. But before we cut that, we need to cut our pattern paper that we're going to use for this. So I've used the 6x6 for the flaps and the actual page, and then for the big flap, the flaps that flap over, I've used the 6x8 pad. Now, just to let you know, just because I don't think I have, my first album with the Stamperia, I used 4 of the 8x8 sized paper pads. Now, I could have probably got away with about 3, but I did do a few wrong cuts. So to allow yourself that bit of wiggle room in case you do make a few errors like I have, then you know, just get the 4. They're quite inexpensive now, the 8x8, so just to be on the safe side, I would do that. Now so far on this pad I've had I've got an 6x6 and an 8x8 of the Mintay papers, and these are 24 double-sided, and I've still got quite a lot of paper left, so I'm doing quite well, I think, on this aspect of the video, sorry, of the project. So I digress, I'm sorry. So we need to cut out our flap pattern paper before we cut our border on. If you're not going to put a border on, you can just then put your pattern paper on and glue it and it's in place. But I like that effect. So with this, I'm going to cut my paper. So let me just find one here. So I'm going to use the 6x6 pad, and I'm going to cut this down because this should already be 6 inches. So yeah, so keep it at the 6 inches, and then you need to cut it to 1 7/8, and then that gives me that nice look at the top there. So I'm going to do the same with the bottom one, 1 7/8. So what we need to do, you need to get yourself some magic tape, Scotch, I think it's Scotch removable tape it's called, and your die. This technique should work on any die that you have. So make sure you get this the right way. So that goes that way. So I'm going to turn that round. Now what you need to do is your pattern paper and your cardstock, they need to be level at the top here. So the die, the side that you're going to die cut off needs to be level. Okay. Now if you're using this tape, even though it does say removable, I would still defluff it. So put some fluffy bits on there from your clothes just to take off some of the stick. That way you don't run the risk of your paper or cardstock ripping. It still might, but you've got less of a chance. So another defluff, or refluff should I say. Okay, I had a funny feeling then that I wasn't recording, but luckily I am. So I was thinking, oh, I'll have to do it again. So I'm just going to put that around like so. So I've put my tape around the edges of my piece that I'm going to cut, and then I've just put some tape that's holding my die in place, and just flipped it over to the back. So I'm just going to die cut this. I won't be two ticks of a duck's tail feathers. I don't know if that's the same. I've just die cut that now. So let's take the backing off. Very carefully remove the tape. Like so. And like so. I'm just going to stick it to me because I will use it again. Now my tape for some reason leaves a little bit of a sticky residue, so I'm just going to wipe that off. Now that's going to be my top, like so. So just remember that is your top. So let's do the bottom. So again, do exactly the same, level it up to the top, and make sure you're level on the sides as well. Okay, so taking off that tape again, save it for later. Take this bit off and this bit. Now also what I did on the my Stamperia one was I glittered around the edge. So I've just got a tacky glue, Pentart tacky glue pen, and I'm going to go around my pattern paper. So I'm just going around the edge, just using it as you would do if you was inking your edges, but we're using glue, and this is nice and tacky. Then I've just got a pot of glitter here, and I'm just going to dunk it in. Okay, either side. Just click off the excess. Because it's Christmas, you have to have a bit of glitter. Not Christmas without the glitter. So, bringing in your glue, and we will hopefully have some glue. There we are. And then we can stick this on. I think it was the top piece. Now what you could do is just number yours. So you could put on the back of here, you could write 1, and then on the back of your flap write 1 as well, and then that way you know that they are the right, they go with the right flap. because sometimes I know I've done it before where I've ended up putting on a flap and it's the wrong flap for that actual new cardstock. So just glittering my edge. Bring out the glitter again. I always put the lid on them because, do you know why? Yep, you've guessed it, and it has happened. I haven't put the lid on and I've put my finger in it, or I put something on top of it, and then the glitter's gone everywhere. So there we are. It's just got a bit of a blockage. Okay. Another blockage. Okay, there we are. Now open. So get this in the right place and push it down, and then you'll find that you've got the perfect border all the way around. How handy and beautiful does that look? So that's then our flaps done. So now what we can do is add our little fastening clips. I just have them here somewhere. When I say fastening clips, our circles for our faux closure. There we are, I've got 2 there. So I'm going to just measure the paper, and the paper was 6 inches, so I'm going to just come down and just put a dot there at 3 inches, and then I'm going to go up and I'm going to mark it at 7/8 of an inch there. Push down and do the same with this side. So 3 inches in the middle, and come up at 7/8, which is there. Push. Then you can put your faux closures on. Now I've got 2 different sorts here. I thought I had another one. Okay, never mind. I'd have to have 2 different ones. Okay. Oh, I can use I'll use both side, that side. So I'm going to just put a little bit of glue just on one of because I'm going to use 2 of these black circles. So 2 of the black ones, and then 1 of the patterned paper, because that's smaller. Just put a little bit of glue on there and then push it down like so, and then we're just going to push in that brad, and then that's going to go into our hole that we've just poked through. So we've got 1 more to do. Again, glue, on top of, then we need the glue on top of, so a patterned paper, no, I'm sorry, a cardstock, 2 cardstocks and 1 pattern paper, and then that should give you a nice firm closure. There we are. And it's good with these folio closures from Cool Cats. They take all that measuring out for you, because they've got the hole precisely in the middle, which are brilliant for this. So before we go any further, I'm just going to add my black tape just over the back of those brad legs, just to hide them a little bit, like so, and like so. There we go. So next what we need to do is add in our little flap. Now the flap is going to, now you can either do it one or two ways. You can either do it where the glue tab is sitting on the front of your bottom piece, or you can go it from the back. I'm actually going to do it so it sits on the front, so I'll need to put my double-sided tape and, well, actually glue, because I've got it here. I'm going to put my glue on the mountain side fold of that glue tab, and then that's going to go in between those two score lines and as near to that edge of your card here. So burnish that down really well. Okay, make sure you're nice and straight. It's a good job I used the glue because mine wasn't. So burnish that down. I'm going to use my tool here because I've got a bit of glue seepage here, but it will come off, so don't worry. There we go. There we are. So that then is that nearly done. So the only thing left we've got to do is cover it, and I think that you possibly would be able to do that. So I'm going to leave that little bit there and put it into our book, so show you how to put them into your book. I've worked it that my hinges all go towards the right hand side. Because I've got that extendable hinge, they do bend, so I've bent them so that they're all facing the top part of the hinge. The extendable part is facing toward I was going to say towards my computer then, but you can't see that, on my left hand. So as I'm here, so it's facing my right, so this side here. Now you can again use double-sided tape and glue, so for this I will use both. If you're using the double-sided tape, try and use one that is probably no bigger than 1/4 of an inch, because we don't want to see the double-sided tape along the bottom of your hinge. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here as well, just so that I've got a bit of a wiggle. So once you've got your double-sided tape and your glue on, we're going to fit it onto, so you may need to turn it round to the back and fit it on this way. Because we've got this here, it makes it a little bit difficult to push it on. So all I've done is come around to the back and just push that down. Now as I'm using the glue, it's given me that little bit of a wiggle so that I can move it around so that I can get it into the place that I want. And there we go. So I've lined it up here, so all my pages are nice and straight, and I've just got that there to finish, and we've got plenty of space in there to add all our photographs and things in there, so we've got plenty of space to add those things in. Now the next thing we have to do is the box folder that goes onto the front of our goes onto the front and the back. So it's going to look a little bit like this. So it is more of a box folder because we've got a gusset at the top and at the bottom. So we've got a flap that flaps up, a flap that flaps down, and then one that flaps out like so. So you have probably got another space in here if you wanted to. You could I'm just taking off that sticky. You could add another flap on this side. There is enough space in there to do that, so I'll leave that up to you. So the front and back covers, there'll be 3 pieces of this, And so the part A is going to measure 6 5/8 by 6 7/8. So again, you will need 2 of these. 6 5/8 by 6 7/8. Okay, on the 6 7/8 side, you need to score it at a half and at 3/4. Okay, like so, to give you that 1/4 inch gusset at the top there, like that. So that's part A. Part B, which again you'll need to cut 2 of. You need to cut this at 6 1/8 by 7 1/4. So I'll go this way, 7 1/4 by 6 1/8. Okay, so this is going to be this flap here. So we need to put our glue tab on this side here. So we need to score it at a 1/2 inch and at 5/8. Okay, and that's going to give you that that 1/8 of an inch tiny little gusset that we need, that's going to go like so. Okay, so it's going to go like this. The last thing we need is our flap. So the flap measures 2 3/4 by 6 5/8. So 2 3/4 by 6 5/8. And again on this one we need to add a 1/2 inch and a 3/4 inch score line, okay, along the long side, to give you another 1/4 inch gusset. So put that away for the moment. Bring in our book, like so. Now again, if you want to, I'm going to cut my border to give me that nice decorative feature on the front. But before we do that, we'll put our pieces in. So you need the flap that's got the 1/4 inch gusset that goes towards the bottom of your page. So I'm just going to use some glue just for quickness, and this glue is really good, it sticks quite quickly. So I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch gap along the bottom of my book, like so, and then bring that over so that's nice and level. And then you've got a choice. You can either put your next piece towards the spine, or towards the outer edge or the inner edge. I'm going to do the outer edge here. I prefer it opening this way, but again, it's up to you. You could even have it where you've got your flaps going this way. You would have to change this dimension though of this page and have your flap opening from this way. So you know, there's lots of different scopes that you could do. So I'm just going to move that down again, just use my glue, and again just give yourself about 1/8 of an inch gap. I think I've got that right. Oh no, there we are. It needs to be that side. There we are. I nearly didn't give myself that 1/8 of an inch, and that would have been disaster. There we go. So that's my little tiny 1/8 of an inch allowance for any paper or photographs or memorabilia or whatever you're going to put in there. So I'm going to just cut now this pattern paper. So the pattern paper for this, I think, would be 6.5. Yeah, 6.5 by 1 7/8. If you're using the Cool Cats dies or a smaller die set, the ones that only do up to 6 inches, you will need the bigger one for the flaps on the inside and outside insides of your covers, because it is that little bit bigger than your 6 inches. So this is the next size up. I think this is an 8-inch die, and I've gone ahead and just stuck my paper down with my tacky sellotape, and we're just going to stick this then in place over the top to then cut that out. Okay, so I've cut that bit out, taking off this tape. It's not nice, it's sticky. Take the tape off there because it got stuck, and then we can go ahead. Now you can either I'm going to do the glitter again, just on that edge there. It does look rather nice. I don't know if you can see it very well on the screen, but it does look very nice. Very, 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 very nice. So I'm going to fit this directly onto our grey board cover. So I'm just turning it around so I can work on it from this way. And this is just going to go again with that gap. There we go, that 1 inch, 1/8 of an inch gap along the top. And then burnish that down like so, and then this goes across, this goes up, and then that comes in that way like so. Now to put our magnet on, now I've done one of my new dies that are coming very soon. I've die cutted one of those out, and that's going to house my magnet. If you're interested in these dies, I should have them in the shop next week, and there's also stamps that go with them. So if you're interested, then please leave me a comment down below and I will add you to the list. They are very, very good, I have to say. I know I'm a bit partial, but they come with different sizes of tabs like this, and I've also done the little cutout so that you can layer them, because I found that no, I hadn't found any that had any layering on. Now I've just noticed what I've done wrong, and that is stick that on before I've stuck my little closure on, but luckily I didn't stick it down enough, so that's not too bad, and I've managed to get that in place in the middle. So add the layering on, the layering pattern paper on the top of that, and it just then sets it off. So now all we need is our tape and the other magnet. Now just take the tape off. Now what I tend to do is I'll put the tape so that it's sticky side facing upwards. Get your magnet and very gently let it find its natural force of where it wants to stick to. And then what we can do is just turn that over, take that off, and then burnish that down in place, and then that's your magnet closure done. So I think that, apart from doing our pattern paper, I think that is done. So thanks ever so much for watching. I really do appreciate you supporting me and my videos. I really do. I so much love doing them. I didn't think I would, but I do. I absolutely love doing videos and teaching and sharing my passion with you. So please don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell as well. All that means is every time I upload a new video, you will get notified and be one of the first to see it live on YouTube. I will put a PR code here in the center here. That will, if you scan that with your smartphone, that will take you to a website called Linktree, and all that is a place where I've got all my social media links. So wherever you want to find me on the web, then I have a link on that Linktree there. So I'll also put, in case you haven't got a smartphone, I will put a link in the description box down below, and you can just click on that and then that can take you there as well. I'll also add in my shop link, Tamara Morton Crafts, where you'll be able to buy the exploding box kit. So thanks again. Wherever you are in the world, have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye. You know, don't you? The dogs, they know. As soon as I say that, they get up. They're so clever. Okay, bye.